I'm Max.
And I'm the spooky hippie. Welcome to WoT the Adaptation, where we're going to discuss the recent trailer for Wheel of Time. This is the big one, guys. And we've got it here for you to break down what the adaptations look like from the books. Rebecca, you got the video for us?
Yeah, let me see. We're not going to play the whole trailer, but just kind of work our way through it bit by bit, because there are some key bits that we want to pull out and talk about. And we're kind of focusing on some elements that we can pull out of this trailer that indicate some potentially big changes that the show might be making, or at least possibilities that we wanted to talk about. So I'm going to just play a little bit of the trailer and then stop, and we'll talk about it bit by bit. Here we go.
Swear your oath, Moraine Sedai.
I swear to speak no word that is not true, to make no weapon with which one person may kill another, and never to use the one power as a weapon.
Okay, so I wanted to stop it there because pretty much the very beginning is dealing with some oath or oaths that Maureen is taking, and we see her holding on to the oath rod. So there's some kind of like weirdo things that are happening there.
Right.
And I am curious, I have an idea, I think, after having like thought through some of the possibilities about what I think might be happening, but I'm curious, like, first, like, what do you guys think is happening with these different scenes related to an oath or oaths or both?
I think they're just doing part of New Spring.
Okay.
I think they're doing that and something new. I think we're seeing one thing and hearing another.
Mm-hmm.
We start out that first shot, Maureen, obviously younger. They did de-age Rosamund a bit with that shot.
Yeah.
They clearly de-aged her, whether
I agree. She
digitally or
looks
with
younger.
makeup.
She's wearing white. It looks like she's wearing an accepted dress, I assume.
Yeah, that's probably her in an accepted dress, probably just passing her trials to be an Aes Sedai and about to swear her oath. That's probably
possibly.
That's probably when we hear her talking.
Her saying, like, I swear, I swear,
giving her
no
3
word.
oaths.
But yeah, okay.
But the rest, my theory is the rest of what we see when we see her in the hall in the blue dress, and we're hearing Sophie Alcanedo talking.
Yeah.
And we see the oath rod. I think that is entirely 998 NE, New Era.
Okay.
Right there. And she's either re-swearing her oaths or swearing a new oath.
Yeah.
Of which raises questions. It
definitely does. I mean, that's like a most intriguing thing to talk about here, because I do tend to agree after thinking about it. It's definitely Sophie Okonedo's voice saying, swear your oath, Moraine Sedai. And like Celtic Mist on Twitter had pointed out, like, that can't be her saying that for the initial taking of the oaths, because she says oath, she calls her Moraine Sedai, which she wouldn't be called until after swearing her initial oaths. So
it's,
at some point, unless this is just something that they invented for the trailer, Swan will say to Moraine, swear your oath, Moraine Sedai.
Right.
And that can't be the 3 oaths. So what is that?
Right. What do you think, Max?
I do think there's a very good possibility it's just misdirection of trailers like they did with Marvel and MCU.
Mm-hmm.
I just now noticed when you pause this that there's weaves on that rod.
Yes.
And they're coming from not Moraine.
It looks like it's coming from the other woman holding this, which we are guessing is Swan, though it doesn't necessarily have to be her.
Right.
And my understanding is one making the oath has to do the weave theoretically.
That is a change. That is a change. I was thinking that when you pointed that out, that it came from the other person.
Yeah, the Amyrlin. Like we can call her the Amyrlin. I'm assuming it's the Amyrlin, even if it is perhaps the New Spring Amyrlin instead of Swan.
But yeah, it should be coming from Moraine or the person taking the oath. But this definitely, to me, looks like the dress is the one we see Moraine wearing. The dress is the one we see Swan wearing.
I'll just, just to throw a monkey wrench in there, I'll say a lot of Moraine's dresses look similar. You know, so I can't be
True.
totally sure that that is the same one as when she appears before Swan. So yes, it looks like the same kind of dress, but boy, does she have a lot of consistency in her style. So I can't be 100% sure. You know, the Amerlin's dress absolutely does look like the dress that we see Swan wearing. But I mean, it did occur to me that like, could there be just like this sort of consistent ceremonial style that the Amerlin wears in the hall, you know,
Right.
and then it's less open to personal style. And so again, I can't be 100% sure that this is Swan, but I think the simplest, you know, likelihood here is that, yeah, at some point, Maureen is holding the oath rod in the current main timeline with Swan as Amerlin, and, you know, there's an oath happening here. But that's nuts to me, like in a
And
way, like what is this something that they're going to be doing like as a matter of sort of, oh, we just kind of swear oaths all the time willy-nilly, or is it something really extreme because Moraine is like in a heck of a lot of trouble?
I think there's a bunch of them that are in trouble. Well, at least Maureen in trouble for
Yeah.
something. And is she the only one that's going to be having to swear at this little showdown in the hall that we've seen shots of? Because
Yeah.
without giving away who, for those who haven't seen it, even though this show really is a spoiler show, there is a Black Aja member
Yeah.
standing in there.
Right.
And that would be problematic for them to
Yeah.
have to take another oath.
Right. And if no one else has to except for Moraine, like why? Like she was not in charge of that mission. She just like came upon it. So it's very I mean, we're in total speculative
Oh, yeah.
territory here. Like we
Yeah.
really don't know what's going on. And as Max pointed out, it could be very misleading,
So,
but they
uh,
should tread carefully about like, you know, using extra oaths, like
Because
because
that
of what you said
doesn't,
about the Black Aja.
yeah. And that also kind of doesn't come into play with the Amelin doing that until a lot
Much
later.
later. Yeah.
Yeah.
so
Right.
one crazy theory I had when I first saw the trailer was we saw her as possibly accepted
Mhm.
and maybe complete her test. We don't really know. But there was just that crazy thought that maybe the mission happens and then she swears her oath.
Mm, that does seem crazy. I don't know. I think there's just like
Like
there's too
swearing
much
it
of like
late.
she's Maureen
No,
Sedai.
like she didn't complete her test until after this mission.
Oh,
But then she wouldn't really be Aes Sedai, right? Like I feel like everyone's like Maureen Sedai. Like
Yeah.
that's how she is referred to. I don't know.
why do all these ladies have the same last name?
Totally.
Of course, there's always a speculation that is that the oath rod?
I mean,
Could
What
it be some
else?
kind of tube filled with some kind of mission letter
it seems like it's
binding
the
it to
oath.
Moraine?
I actually think didn't Rafe in his breakdown
He
like
did call
say
it
it?
the oath
He says
rod.
it's the oath rod.
Yeah,
I
I
think
just
it is,
watched
yeah.
that. He did say
Yeah.
it was the oath rod.
Yeah.
So I guess we're gonna have to wait to see on this one.
Yeah. I
This
mean,
one's
what would be most interesting is like, okay, if they're deciding to like use the oath rod in different ways, you know, presumably there's a reason for that. And we really don't know what that is at this point. Like, why did they decide, hey, we need to like bring the oath rod in and use it in other ways besides the initial 3 oaths? Interesting stuff. All right.
that's opening some interesting territory.
Absolutely. All right. So let's keep
So
going.
let's go
Which
to the
one
next.
person may kill?
Oops, sorry. Were we good on that?
Yes, I'm good. Max, you good?
Yeah, basically.
All right, let's go to the
All
next.
right, let's see what else we got here.
Another. And never to use the one power as a weapon.
Do you know what Aes Sedai means in the old tongue? Servants of all. It is they who serve the world.
Okay, so I'm going to stop there and back up a little bit. So one little thing that kind of like jumped out to me is that we've sort of had Steppen featured in both
Everywhere.
trailers. Like, you know, he had that shot of him kissing the ring in the first teaser trailer, and then we have him actually like giving a line in this trailer. So that was super intriguing to me. Like, is Steppen going to be a bigger character than we might have expected? Or is this just like, hey, let's put Peter Franzen in the trailer because we think he's pretty or something?
And he's popular.
Yeah, he is.
He's
He is a
popular. What,
popular actor.
Finland?
Yeah.
Finland,
Yeah,
I
totally.
think.
Yeah.
I'd
Yeah,
say he's
they
talking to
are.
Nynaeve.
I think he's
Yeah,
talking to
that's-
Nynaeve too. Just trying to figure out like a good shot of him.
Yeah.
I totally agree that that's probably makes the most sense. Yeah.
It definitely
He's
has to
our
be
audience
Nynaeve.
view.
Yeah. We already kind of like played this next part, but I'll just kind of go back to it. Like I was a little curious on like what this meeting between Moiraine and Swan is going to be like here, because this isn't something that happens in the Eye of the World. They don't meet until the Great Hunt after some other things have happened. So it'd be interesting to see like what that I'm assuming they're going to have a conversation, and what that might be
Right.
like here versus what it would be in the Great Hunt. Any
I-
thoughts on that?
My guess is that they're probably meeting here before the events of the start of the book about
Oh,
Logain.
okay.
Like they're sending everybody on this mission to hunt him down.
But didn't we talked about this last
This-
time in the first teaser trailer though, like in the wide shot, Kareen is not there. So like it seemed like this shot here, all of these Aes Sedai in the middle there, standing, in the center of the floor, they're all the ones that were on that mission with Logain, but Kareen is not there. So I think this is after she's killed.
Yeah, this looks like people in trouble after Logain escapes,
Right.
or maybe Logain escapes, then gets captured again.
I'm assuming that's the
Um,
case, but clearly people died in that
Yeah.
escape attempt.
Yeah, because
so,
we saw that shot, that above shot of what looked to be a funeral.
Yeah.
With a bunch of bodies wrapped in white shrouds.
Right.
So my
And-
thought on that was like, if this is them meeting up, that would allow them to head that direction. Moiraine finds Rand, they're hunting down Logain, later meets up together with them.
But why isn't Kareen in this shot if it's before they've gone to capture him?
Could have digitally removed her.
Just to
we don't
mess
know.
with
Right?
us?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
I can tell Max is in the camp of this trailer is all misdirection.
Dece-
Everything
all
is
deception.
like,
Well, remember what Raph said about the Tinker scene?
yeah, what did he say?
He said that, oops, he was supposed to be digitally removed.
It
Oh,
was
he
a
was
joke.
joking.
Was
Called
he?
him an extra. He called it an extra.
No, I totally think that was a joke. But... All right, well, let's see what's next. Unless you guys have more thoughts on Moiraine.
Servants of all.
Let's go back here. What do you guys think? Anything else on Moiraine and Swan?
Love the jewel.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's nice to see that.
My only real question from like this still here
hmm
is, were the costume designers trying to bring back 90 shoulder pads?
Those are pauldrons, man. Pauldrons.
Moiraine is totally rocking them in all of her scenes. Really, like she digs that.
She's got some armor on.
Yeah.
All right, what do we got next?
It is they who serve the world.
I didn't choose this path, but I will follow it.
Where next?
The two rivers. The old blood runs deep in those mountains. Let's hope it's prepared them for what's coming. The Dark One is waking. But there will be one who can stand against him. And it's one of the five of you.
Okay, I'm going to stop it there. So we kind of went through a lot there, but partly I didn't stop it earlier just because there's a lot of stuff in there that like we had kind of seen in the other teaser trailers and like had talked about before, so I want to repeat. But was there anything in what I skipped that you guys had wanted to comment on?
Back up just one frame to that shot of Matt. Let's take
Okay.
a note of Matt outside in front of this gibbet with his dagger.
Man, that braid. Yeah.
Just remember this shot. We will see him standing in front of this from a distance,
Mhm,
really blurred
mhm.
in a short bit here.
Yeah,
just
when we
remember
kind of talk about it at that point. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, just remember
Um,
that shot.
Yeah. I mean, we could kind of go back a little bit because that 90
My
shot
question is,
too.
Is
like,
that the
I don't
Shatter
know.
Logoth dagger, or is that a dagger he brought from home?
Yeah,
No
I
idea.
mean, we kind of can't tell, but hopefully it's the Shutterlogith dagger.
And
I
there's
don't know if you guys had any thoughts on this scene. I mean, obviously this is a super cool shot, but like I have no idea where it is.
I thought for a while that it was somewhere close to the waterfall, maybe, and that's why she's soaking wet.
Yeah, she's definitely soaking wet. Yeah.
Somebody suggested she might have been thrown in a pool or in a pond or a lake or a river or something by land after she snuck up on land and catching up to Lan and Moiraine.
Yeah.
And because she put that last trailer we saw with the stick to his throat, and
Yeah.
maybe he dunked her in the water like he did to as payback for that, kind of harkening back to New Spring.
Yeah, that would be a New Spring like thing. I mean, she looks kind of like she's in a cave here as opposed to the
That's the
woods.
thing, and it
Yeah.
kind of reminds me. I mean, we've seen inside of 2 caves. We've seen the one where the women's circle, but
Mhm.
the lighting is different. But that just might be because it's nighttime.
This looks like nighttime. Yeah.
But the holes in the ceiling make me think it's the same one where they have Logain. But
Yeah.
why is there water? Why is she soaking wet inside
pushed back.
that cave? Did
We saw
Logain throw a
we saw that wave push the other ones off the chair, shaking them behind in the pool.
Did he
Yeah,
use a
but there didn't
wave of
seem
water?
like there was a pool in there. And I thought she was also outside at that point, but I don't know.
No idea.
Yeah, so
I don't know.
I'm
This
not
might be
really
something we
sure.
don't have the context for. I mean, it made me think of the women's circle cave because there's a pool in there, so that's a way that she could get wet. But like, I don't like. Would she go back there like after that's over? It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. But all right. Well, anyway, I did want to talk about what.
Valdara?
Well, first, yeah, that is Faldara. You're right. What Moiraine says here, there will be one who can stand against the Dark One, and it's one of the 5 of you.
Misdirect.
Okay.
Totally a misdirect for the audience. And
Mhm.
as I've heard said from a couple of sources that saw it or are reporting people who saw it in London when at the convention there where the clips were played, apparently she only says 4 of you, or doesn't even say 5. It just might be one. All I know is for a fact she does not say 5 in that clip, in the actual
Okay.
clip that they saw. What the specific words she said, I don't know for a fact. I just know she didn't say 5.
Okay. I mean, the 5 was interesting to me because, well, for a couple of reasons. I mean, we had that Moraine's Quest teaser, which we didn't talk about here, but like, I'm sure people have seen it. That teaser is cut to make it look like Egwene is under consideration, the way that
Yeah.
Bran, Matt, and Perrin are. And if we look at another, I don't know if I have that other still of this. Let me try to find the other still of this scene here. This right here. Nynaeve is not in this shot. The 4 of them are, and Lan, of course. So I mean, technically there are 5 people here, but I'm pretty sure she's not talking to Lan. So
Right. Yeah, and a lot of people are freaking out that well, there are not. I can't say a lot, but there are people freaking out that Egwene was included in that group. All worried that they're gonna make Egwene the Dragon Reborn. No, people, she is not gonna be the Dragon Reborn.
yeah. I mean, I don't
It's
think any of
just-
us are going to disagree on that, right? Like that whole idea
Right.
that like that they would change who the Dragon Reborn is I mean, that's bonkers. Like that's not going to happen. Like
No.
that isn't going to change. But there could be a change in the show where they at least make it look like Moiraine is considering Egwene or Nynaeve. I mean, they could
Right.
include Nynaeve. The only thing is I would just say is like Nynaeve's not in this shot. She doesn't look to be in a number of other shots like right after they've left the 2 rivers. So it does seem like she catches up with them later. So it makes a whole lot less sense then that Nynaeve would be one of the 5, because then why doesn't she leave with them? So
Right.
I don't know. That part does seem like, I don't know why they added it though. Why would they put that in the trailer if they're not going to like include Nynaeve in that? It's super strange.
Oh,
It's
misdirection.
It's to misdirect and to befuddle the minds of the people who haven't read the books and are just watchers.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're trying to make it a mystery who the Dragon Reborn is. Although, like within 5 minutes of picking up the book, I knew who the Dragon Reborn was.
It's not a mystery in the book at all.
No.
But I think it can
No.
be in the show. I definitely think it can be.
I mean,
Another
'cause-
part is like, even if it's not a controversy among fans, if it is controversy,
Mhm.
we're talking about it.
Yeah. Oh, so
Yeah.
this shot too, like Nynaeve is not in this shot, right? So
No.
this probably looks like, as early as they're leaving the Two Rivers, and she's not in this shot either.
back up a
Um,
couple of shots.
Oops, go back.
They're
okay.
standing. Everybody keeps thinking it's a cliff that they're standing on, or maybe it was forward.
Oh
from
no,
where
it's
you were.
forward. Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody keeps thinking these are cliffs.
This.
When I brightened it up, that's
Yeah.
clearly a city wall. That's a city wall or the wall of the building. You can see where Rand is standing, how straight those lines are. of
Yeah.
the- that
Let me
he's
go forward
standing
on
at the corner of a wall.
Oh.
And that's also, I think they're in that because there's trees around. I don't think it's Faldara. I think
No.
that's sunrise or sunset at Shadar Logoth.
Okay. I could buy that.
So they might spend
Interesting.
some time in Shadar Logoth because there's a couple shots that I caught that look like sunlight, daylight at Shadar Logoth.
Hmm.
Because I can't think of any
Interesting.
other ruined walls that they'd
I
be
mean,
standing on.
Rafe did say in an interview that it was 15 minutes of screen time. So just,
They
That's
could have arrived
significant.
in the day, and they're taking their break,
yeah.
and then the night comes and they got to flee the hell out of there.
Yeah. That's
So
kind of
they-
what I'm guessing is like they arrive when it's daytime. We get a little bit of some daytime shots. Then night falls, and then stuff goes totally haywire.
So
and they
that
have to
shot we
scramble.
see of them on the horses riding down the street at
Mhm.
night, and that's probably them leaving. You would
I don't
say.
know. They often look like they're entering in that. I think I can go back to that too.
Could have been. They could have arrived at pre-dawn?
Yeah.
Pre-dawn.
Maybe they're just traveling
sunrise.
through. Or it just could be dark because of the walls in this
I'm thinking
buildings.
it's dark because of the walls. That's what I think.
Yeah, now that I look at how tall everything is there, and that you can see that crack there up.
There's a
that
crack with
hole.
some sunlight up there. Yeah.
People
So
like
it
said
could be-
pre-dawn.
I can't imagine that they would spend more time there than they had to. But even
Right.
trying to get away from the shadow spawn, I feel like they wouldn't want to do that. But
You don't want to sleep in the mines of Moria. I mean, Shadow Logoth.
To be
Yes.
fair, with horses, if you've been riding all through the night, you gotta let those horses rest.
Yes, you do.
the next thing we wanted to talk about, I'm just kind of like basically scanning through for like the next thing we wanted to talk about in here because we can kind of.
How do you think Faldara looks?
I like it. I like it a lot.
I didn't.
So when you actually zoom in and kind of look, that is snow covering that. That's not desert.
That's snow, not
Yeah.
brown
Snow?
sand.
Yeah, that's snow.
Okay.
Oh,
see-
so I mean, I can see that. I think that the color is the issue because there's
It
sort of
is,
like
Okay. See, I didn't expect brownstone. I expected gray or black stone for Faldara, but structurally, that's almost exactly what I pictured in my head. And that just surprises me.
It's funny
what I-
because I never pictured Tarwin's Gap that close.
That's
to,
the thing I was about to say. Yeah.
Yeah. But
That looks like that looks like a mile or two,
yeah.
maybe
Supposed to be
3.
2 or 3 days right away, wasn't it?
I thought
Yeah.
it was a significant ride.
It's
more than
couple
more
days.
than a couple miles anyway. I don't know if it was a
Yeah.
couple days. That might maybe, but it was a significant ride.
And
It was
also
enough
looks-
that like Ingtar couldn't accompany them to the Blight and then get back. But maybe that was because they were, I don't know. That doesn't
Right.
actually
and also smaller than I expected. But I mean, Tarwin's Gap itself,
Mhm.
that looks like maybe, well, by scale, couldn't tell you. Those people are tiny, and that is kind of a ways
Yeah.
distance. But
Yeah.
yeah,
I like it though. I think it looks
I do
cool.
like it. I mean, it works if that's how they want to do it. That's fine.
I
Not
do
how I
wonder
would've done it,
much
but I'm-
is, sorry, I do wonder how much is like real structure versus CGI.
Talked about that
Yeah.
a bit in his breakdown. How like this is like multiple different things that they've like, so there are some real landscapes here.
The Canary Islands.
And some real locations, and then like 2 different real locations and some VFX.
Yep.
So it's quite
And
a lot.
one of the
that goes into this
locations they
shot.
use is the one where, you know, we see them on set.
Yeah.
And we've seen footage, or we've seen stills last couple of years of the place that they actually used for Faldara. If we went back and looked,
Mhm.
WoTSeries.com probably has them.
They do. They definitely do. Yeah.
Uno on the left. Did you see him?
I mean, so the thing is, like, oh yeah, there you can see he has like some kind of like strap that might be like an eye patch. In another shot of him, though, like I didn't look like he did.
And you notice
Blonde.
he's not going to look like the rest of the Shinarans.
I know, that's interesting. Yeah.
Shinar's multi-ethnic too.
All right, so let's check out this next part.
Our enemies are everywhere. They will leave no one standing.
Okay, before we get too far, because I really just wanted to first talk about
The witch burning.
yes, and our friend Eamon Valda. This was like
Man.
one of the most intense little sequences in the trailer.
White Cloak's gonna be scary.
Mhm.
Notice
White
his
Cloak's-
bloody hand and towel.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and actually you can see that in this next little shot too. Yeah, his hand's definitely bloody.
Yeah, he didn't clean him off well enough with that.
Right here you can see it too, with when he's putting the ring on. So like, I wonder like what he did to get his hand bloody. Oof.
People are theorizing that in a couple of the videos I've seen that he cut her finger off
Yeah,
to get that
I mean,
ring.
I suppose that's quite possible. Yeah.
It seems a logical assumption to me.
Yeah, like it would just be an extra layer of like, hey, I'm not just gonna rip this from your finger. I'm gonna like, I mean, just
I'm getting Vlad Tepes vibes off of him though. I mean, it's not quite impaling somebody on a stake, but it's burning somebody at the stake and then sitting there and
I
having
mean, he's
dinner
enjoying
watching
himself. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's enjoying himself.
A little
And-
too much.
Oh
it.
yeah. So this is super effective. I mean, it's just interesting that we're getting all of this now, like the fact that they decided to introduce Eamon Valda early. Not too surprising that he seems to be a character that they're going to make one of the most vicious, because that kind of is consistent with the book characterization.
Yeah, he is.
But we didn't get him so early on, and now they're really showing him burning in Aes Sedai. It's like that really goes beyond anything we see in the books.
We never saw Eamon Valda, but he was mentioned.
He was mentioned, correct?
He was the commander of the White Cloaks at Camelin that
Mhm.
followed Galad, Gawain, and Elaine from
Right.
Camelin to Tarvalon.
To Tarvalon. Yep.
Yeah, but he was in charge of the White Cloaks that were harassing everybody in Camelin when Rand was there.
That's right. And I believe Dane Barnhold was with him
He got
Under-
assigned to him.
under
yeah,
his command. Yeah.
he got reassigned to his command.
Yeah, but it would seem like from some of the like shots we've seen in other teasers or in publications that we see like a big group of White Cloaks together, and like Valda is there and Jeff from Bornhold is there.
Right.
So I'm going to assume that we just are getting like one bigger group of these White Cloaks. We're not going to have like 2 different smaller groups, I'm guessing.
Right. We don't. Yeah. We'll see what. Or that could have been a meeting of 2 groups. We don't. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
I wonder if Joffrey's going to be more like he is in the books, or if he's going to be as crazy bloodthirsty as Aemon is here.
I mean, they have to almost set up like some. I mean, I don't know if they want them to not just be like pure, unadulterated evil. If they want there to be a little bit more of like a human element to the evil, which I always like. I appreciate that about the way the White Cloaks are portrayed in the books. Is it's a very human kind of evil, and that is
Right.
something that Robert Jordan seemed to want to include, that evil is not just the dark one, this like, you know, personification of sort of like pure evil and chaos, that evil exists in people. So I hope that we're going to see some of that nuance. I mean, the other thing I always found really chilling about Jeff from Bornhold in the book was like, he does kind of come off as a bit more reasonable. Like when we first meet him, like he's saying some things that in comparison to Bayer, it's like, okay, this guy has a little bit more sanity, but then he's just as willing to be like, yeah, we're going to hang you to Perrin. So
Right.
it's like, even the sane
Well,
ones are not very
Perrin-
sane.
Perrin did murder 2 children.
Sure. Yeah.
You know,
Oh.
that in that world, that's a hanging offense, apparently, you know?
No, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't Fane infiltrate the White Cloaks at one point?
Oh, yeah.
Later on.
Later,
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
So, you know, he infiltrated the White Cloaks, and this just shows how easy it'd be for him to do it.
Oh, yeah.
See, the other White Cloak I always liked was Pedro Nile.
I wonder if we will get Pedro Nile
I
or
hope
not.
so.
Yeah. I mean, we
could-
very easily could. I don't think. I mean, the interesting thing is how they'll show the ranks, because I don't have it here, but like in the another shot that we got where we can see like Jeffrey Bornhold was wearing gold on his sleeve, and
And his pauldron.
yes, on his pauldron. And some of them had silver, a lot of them had white. So those seem to be different ranks. You know,
I think pauldron, and I think the upper arm was at a vambrace or something like that, Max.
I mean, it's basically just like on
Something
one
like that.
arm. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I was thinking we haven't really seen much of Fane at all, except for that one thing
No.
that Dusty Wheel covered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
nothing. They're keeping
And-
him very much on the down low.
You know, for all we know, he's involved in this scene.
Yeah. I mean, I still think
Maybe early.
from like some information that's out there that, you know, supposedly Johann Myers is only in one episode of the first season. So if that's correct, then it would seem like he shows up at Emmons Field. We think he's dead, and then we just don't. The thing is, they can always later show that he was working, you know,
yeah.
doing these different things behind the scenes, but that we're not actually going to see it. So
Let's
I
hope
think he's going to really be like a season 2 figure.
Let's hope so. How do you feel about the escalation of the White Cloaks here? Where in the books, they're a wet rag. They're really nothing to them.
They're more
For the
dangerous
most-
here. Yeah.
And here, they're burning
Mhm.
at least a suspected Yellow Aja.
Yeah.
But they're
no,
burning. They're
yeah,
burning
it's gotta be
witches.
yellow. I like it because I think it makes them a much more formidable opponent, you know, threat that's out there that we have to take seriously.
Do you think
It
it's a
also-
reason?
It also shows that they're not in the Asadi aren't immortals. You can take them down.
Hmm. That's a good point.
Everybody's been saying, how do you take down an Aes Sedai and get her like that? And I said, easy. You distract her with people up front, and somebody sneaks up, puts a hood over her head.
Yeah.
She can't
mean-
see, she can't channel.
It's something they say constantly in the books that, like, you know, they want us to take these threats seriously, that an arrow can kill an Aes Sedai and all these things. So I think it is important that they show that, you know, just
Yeah.
that they have
And-
some methods to, you know, to capture. I mean, and they're not just trying to like straight up kill her, they're trying to like capture her and then kill her in the way that they want to kill her.
You know, in all technicality, all you need is a sling and a stone.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And if you knock someone unconscious, that's a lot of force.
Right.
Yeah.
The
If she's
concussion is
not-
going to mess you up.
Yeah, if she's not
You're not-
aware of you until you've already sort of disabled her, then
Yeah.
and you have her then tied up, you know, there's
I mean,
not.
If you have a concussion, you can't see straight, you can't think straight, you're not
Mhm.
sure what's upside down. I don't think you can channel.
Yeah. People were suspecting Fork Root, but I don't think they're going to introduce it that soon.
I mean, they could, you know.
They could, but I think
Yeah.
it lessens the whole tension of when Fork Root gets introduced in the book.
That would
Yeah.
require some Fane level deception.
So, I mean, does not look like she's blindfolded here.
No.
So that would be the only thing that I would say. Like, I mean, her hands are bound, obviously, but it
She
would
could have
seem
been
like
blinded.
oh, yeah, you're right. They could definitely have done that. That's
But I don't
dark.
see blood on her face, so at
No,
least
I-
not from this shot.
you know, when I mentioned concussed and all that, you know, that could affect that your feet are literally on fire.
Yeah.
I don't know how many could really channel through that.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Yeah. I don't think we necessarily need fork root to explain what's going on here.
No.
And there's also the hand movement thing.
Yes.
A lot of Asade will use hand movements, and that's like the only way they can use that weave.
Hmm.
Yep.
You know, to the consternation of the wise ones. They're like, "You're dumb. Why are you throwing fireballs when you just
Yep.
use
We
your
see
head?"
we see somebody later on who doesn't need to use their hands to channel.
Yes, Logain doesn't apparently need to use his hands.
All right, what's next?
Yeah. All right. So let us move on. Oh, okay. I actually sort of played it a little bit, but
Oh, this trailer.
yeah, this right here. So just this little bit, I wanted to talk about Lan screaming, and then Moiraine reacting, or you know, whatever they're reacting to each other. I guess. I'm very curious about what is going on here. This was kind of one of my favorite bits of the trailer.
I like it.
I'd
And it
say
really
she's
shows.
sorry. Go ahead.
It really shows that he's feeling her emotions as
Yep.
well as his own emotions. And I think this is that seems like a funeral. And to me,
They're all wearing white.
yeah, and to me that looks like Nynaeve to her right, our left, and Alana to our right, right
Yeah.
there. That
I mean,
really
it does
look
kind
like
of look like Nynaeve. It's just, it's
But-
so hard for me to make that make sense. Like, who
Where are
is
they?
dying and Nynaeve is there that would affect them this much? I don't know.
You know,
Yeah,
I've heard
it's-
theories this is Faldara,
Hmm.
and the chest thing is all some kind of ritualistic funeral type thing.
Hmm.
That's one of the
like a
theories I've heard.
salute, like a salute type thing.
So, okay. I mean, Faldara would sort of make sense to me, in the sense that like Nynaeve could be there, and I mean, it's a bit surprising that Alana is there,
Yeah,
but not completely out of the question, I think. It does look like there's a sword on the
Mhm.
wall behind Moiraine.
yeah.
That seems somewhat Faldara-like. This also looks like it could be the White Tower, but that doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me.
Yeah, I still have issues with the idea of Nynaeve or Egwene ending up at the tower.
Oh, I agree. I
in
definitely
this
don't think that
season.
should happen.
That's
Yeah.
I don't think that can happen for everything to work out right.
Yeah.
And the other funeral that we know of that we saw in the previous trailer seemed to all be taking place outdoors.
Yeah, I don't really think this would be connected to, like, you know, Kareen's death or any of those other deaths that, I mean, they're out, like, out in the middle of, you
So,
know, wherever, you know, and yeah, I don't think this is that.
so here's a thought. Look at that kind of shape you can kind of see to the right of Moraine's head in the background.
Yeah.
Now turn to 17 seconds on the video. There you go. So see that column to the right,
Yes, I do.
but I don't
That-
see any weapons in the wall.
No,
I
but
don't
that-
think
it
there
looks
would be
like the
any
same
weapons
pattern.
in this room.
Yeah.
No.
It looks like the same pattern.
similar.
It definitely looks similar. Yeah.
But you know, I think I've seen that similar pattern in other places too.
All right, let me go back to it. I definitely don't think that's in the hall. I don't think something like this would
It wouldn't,
take place there.
you know, for what we know, it doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't.
But that's kind of what I can kind of see in that. It has that same.
Yeah, I mean, I can see the definite similarity there. I mean, which means it could be somewhere else in the White Tower.
Now this is
Um,
more squared off grid like. Now that I'm looking at it again, but yeah, it is similar.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I got to be honest. I know some people disagree with this. I think the more significant pain is coming from Lan here, and that Moiraine is reacting more to him. I mean, obviously they're reacting to each other,
Mhm.
but
people
I mean,
suggested Bukama's death.
right? If this is a flashback, in which case this cannot be Nynaeve, though. You know, if that
Right.
really is Nynaeve, then that doesn't, unless they brought that into the present somehow. Yeah, I mean, it to me, it looks like Lan has lost someone very significant, and that Maureen's tears are more a reaction to him than he's having a reaction to her.
Right.
Notice like the other two aren't they have no tears,
Yeah.
but they're doing that rhythmic chest pounding just like she was, and Lan.
Mhm. Yeah. I mean, part of it is just strange to me. I mean, I know I, if that is naive, like she just the expression on that woman's face just looks so calm,
Yeah.
and I don't know.
Same with Alana's.
That doesn't seem very naive like to me, especially if Lan looks like that. I mean,
It so looks like Zoe.
I mean, I agree. It does look like Zoe. But we're only seeing half of her face. I don't know.
It's
If
a hard
it
one
is
to tell.
naive, it almost kind of has to be in Faldara for me. But and when it could be.
Well, there's what makes the only thing that really, really makes sense. So maybe they're there and there is an attack on Faldara while they're there before they head off to the Eye, and somebody that Lan is close to
Mhm.
croaks.
Yeah. I mean, I do like the showing of the bond in this way. I mean, I think that is, I like that as a concept. So it'd be interesting to see, what they're choosing to show us that is making them react this way, but I like it.
And that is specifically one thing Rafe mentioned about this scene, is that it does show the bond.
Right. The way that they're feeling each other's feelings. Anything else on this little bit
I'm
here
good.
before I move on? Okay. All right, let's keep going.
We've lost too many people already. I can't lose you.
Oh wait, I want to back up because there's this little bit where we can see
Aram.
lying on the ground over there when Perrin and Egwene are being taken by the White Cloaks. So that's super interesting.
Yeah, we do know that the actor is in 3 episodes.
Yes, and then this might help explain why that was necessary. But
apparently, it looks like he took off with Perrin and Egwene.
well,
And
I was thinking that too. But I'll just also throw out there that like he was at the table read for episode 5. Maria Doyle Kennedy was also at that table read. So that's another thing to just consider. Like, I mean, it does look like he could have run off with them, but maybe it's also like the White Cloaks meet up with the party of
the Tinker Caravan.
the Tinker Caravan, and for whatever reason, then they get into it, and this happens. So maybe they hadn't actually left the Tinker Caravan at any
That
point.
is a good possibility.
I was thinking something like that. The White Cloaks just kind of wipe out the Tinkers.
Ugh,
Gives Aram a definite reason to join Perrin.
yeah. Mm.
That, or they could make him Hopper.
Oh.
So instead of not actually being Hopper, but I mean, like, they kill him like they kill Hopper,
Ah,
causing Perrin to go berserk.
Yeah.
And then
No,
we
I
just
don't
lose that
see-
whole Aram plot line, which is just,
yeah. I don't see any White Cloak bodies lying around, so it
yeah.
doesn't, and not in this area.
Yeah, no, that's a good point, right? Like, it doesn't really seem like Perrin would be able to like take out any White Cloaks at this point. Like, I mean, they look pretty handled.
Mm-hmm. Of course, in the books they were captured, and then that happened.
Yeah, I mean, it could
Yeah,
be that
this
like,
did happen totally different.
yeah, I mean, maybe he's already killed some, and then they've like been running, and then they've caught up to them, perhaps.
Because this happened at night. Actually, they didn't even get captured like this. They got knocked out.
Yeah.
He got knocked out and woke up, tied up.
I mean, I have to admit, I hope they don't change the Hopper thing, but it would be super confusing in a way, like, because I don't think we're gonna have Elias. So like, how are we really gonna understand like what the heck is happening with Hopper? Like if he's having this connection with Hopper and Hopper is killed.
He's just
I
gonna
just-
have to puzzle it out.
I just had a really
Yeah.
crazy thought.
Mhm.
What if the Wolf brother Perrin meets his Aram?
Mm.
Crazy thought. Looney
Crazy.
theory.
Yeah,
Looney theory for the
time.
Maybe that's the route Rafe decided to go. Make Aram the Wolf brother that teaches Perrin, and that explains why Aram leaves with them and goes off for 3 episodes.
Yeah.
I don't want that to be the case. I don't think that's the case. I really doubt that's the case, but
No, I don't think so. But
Who
it, but I-
knows?
They could introduce Elias in what would be season 2 or 3 with the Great Hunt, or not the Great Hunt, the Dragon Reborn.
yeah,
Instead of a a wild wolf brother he meets, it could be Elias in a cage and Gaul involved
Yeah.
in that whole thing.
Instead
Yeah.
of gnome.
could be. Yeah, I mean, the thing that is always like super interesting to me about like Perrin in the Eye of the World is like he meets all of these figures that are like so relevant to him throughout the entire series, right? He has the White Cloak encounter. He meets Elias and starts on the wolf journey. He meets Aram. And so like there's all of these like really super important figures in his journey that he just like
He even meets
soon-
Massimo in the first book, doesn't he? Don't we meet Massimo in Eye of the
Yes.
World?
That is true. We do. So like it's just as soon as he's out there, it's just like his Taviran is working because like all these things just like come to him. So I mean, hopefully they're just there, I'm sure they know like which of these things they really want to like keep. I'm sure the White Cloak connection is going to be, still a huge factor for him. I'm less sure about like Aram, like, is he going to be as important a figure to Perrin? I mean, you could argue probably yes, because it looks like, from what they're showing here, they're setting some things up. I mean, hopefully they're not just like, hey, let's just kill him, and like
I hope not.
that didn't make a whole lot of sense. Like, I'd rather they be setting it up and have him continue to be a significant figure.
I want men to see a tinker with a sword.
Mhm.
But
Right.
as I say, the Perrin thing is all about the blacksmith puzzle.
Mhm.
So to your point, he was introduced to all the pieces of the puzzle, and he had to
Right.
figure it out.
Yes, that's true. Very true. Oh, do we want to talk about this?
Yeah,
'Cause we referenced this shot before.
Yeah.
if
because-
you lighten it up, which I did.
Yeah, it's
Let
hard
me
to
see
see
if-
here. I mean, we can definitely
Um,
see like a hand flicking the dagger out of the sleeve, and
In
you
the
brought this
background, yeah, in the
Go ahead.
background, you can see the gibbet there.
right.
And in front of it, there's a figure standing with its back to the camera.
Yeah,
That's Matt.
yeah.
So whoever this is with the dagger slipping out of their sleeve is sneaking up on Matt.
hmm
Now,
And then Matt whips around and pulls his dagger.
right. Now, one of the videos I saw, somebody pointed out that the cuff of this sleeve looks an awful lot like the cuff of the sleeves that Tom is wearing. And dropping a dagger out of your sleeve is kind of a Tom move.
It's
so
a total Tom move. Yeah,
yeah,
I thought this was Tom as well. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
what could be happening there is, he's coming here and he's probably seeing an ambush on Matt.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And someone's going to attempt to attack Matt, and Thom's just going to toss a dagger in their throat. Matt's going to think, Thom's after him because he's been chased by
Sure.
dark friends. And, he's going to turn his blade, but then it's got a body fall behind him.
Yeah, there could be the like, who's the dark friend in this scene, right? Like, is it Tom or is it the other one? And Matt certainly would have a very hard time telling at that point.
It's gonna
It'll be the
interesting.
bard that Thom hates.
It'd be interesting to see how it all plays out because they meet Tom in a tavern
Mm-hmm.
as he's about to go back up and continue playing.
Yeah.
From revealed stuff.
And we know Dana is there.
We know Dina is there, and then we've got this scene here,
Mhm.
but we've also got that scene that's I think later in this trailer of inside of a building, a log cabin or log built building. Tom being attacked by a murderer,
Yeah,
and
I can kind of skip
fighting
ahead to
with
that.
it-
We do get that.
fighting
yeah.
with a dagger. Speaking of the construction of buildings, I noticed that Cam and Rand's cabin is
Yeah.
stone built. When I brightened it up inside,
Oh.
it's stone built. The walls.
Oh. Yeah, I don't think this is the same location.
No, that's an interior.
Yeah, it does look like an interior.
Well, it's definitely an interior because we're seeing the inside of a right angle wall, right
Oh.
corner.
That doesn't necessarily mean it's inside. You can have a
True.
exterior wall with a corner going out.
Yeah, true. You're
And it's a
right.
lot of lights for inside.
I just think it looks like this is a close space
Yeah.
that they're in. And I
Well,
think
look at the
that
sword pointing up.
Yeah.
You know, an 8-foot ceiling, that might be hitting a ceiling. If it is enclosed.
yeah, I don't know. It does look interior. It looks like a close space, like going back to the other shot. Like I just think there's a lot more. And not so much in this one, but in the one with Matt, it looked like more open space. I don't think it's the same location.
Is that someone hanging?
Well, so there is definitely someone hanging. Let me go back to
Oh, and the
Matt.
gibbet. Looks like, I think that's somebody in a cage still, like we saw with that apparently an Aiel in a cage in the previous trailer.
I think
Yep.
so too.
Okay,
Yeah,
that makes sense.
I think that's what this is also.
So that's the same. I think that's the same person in the cage that we see Matt looking at in the daytime.
In the daytime. Yeah,
Weren't they writing in that picture?
you can't
No.
really tell. I don't think
Didn't seem like it.
it's a very close up on Matt's face.
I think this is Brain Spring.
I
Is
think
what
so
this
too.
is going to end up being.
Hmm.
And they get chased in this town. I'm pretty positive that shot in the previous trailer, them running down the street, the person coming around the corner. I'm pretty positive that person coming around the corner is on a horse. But
Oh, that chasing scene. Yeah, that could be. Yeah,
Where do you think Matt sees Logain?
I think it's in Tarvalon.
Because I was thinking, he doesn't look very sick here, but he looked pretty sick in the picture of Logain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that has to be Tarvalon, and that's kind of based on like it's some leaks really of sets that we think is Tarvalon, and it matches some of that stuff.
all right, what's after this? So we got Matt and the dagger.
Yeah, let's go ahead. Yeah,
Oh.
well, lots of Trollocs. We got lots of Trollocs. Yeah, we got a Waygate. Little hints of Loyal.
Loyal crouching over so he can't be seen.
Oh, apparently, yeah. Let's keep going. Oh yeah, we talked about this little quick Tom scene.
What on earth Nynaeve is running from?
Yeah, I mean that could be part of the that initial attack. You know, if she's not like right in the village when it begins.
I think that chase in the woods is
Oh.
her running from the attack, or I think that's more tied to the attack from the Dragon's Horn.
Remember when
could be.
Nynaeve is covered or is in water?
Yes.
I think that's the same dress she's wearing. She could be heading towards that waterfall area.
I don't know if I lightened that. I had to have lightened that shot up.
Yeah, this one's.
Because she could be running towards that cliff she pushed Egwene off of.
Maybe.
Maybe.
And that's how she gets away from them because they don't like running water.
I was just got like real horror movie vibes from these kind of sequences. So I think that whole first episode's going to have a lot of horror elements in it. Yeah, I mean, so a lot of these are just
First two
more
episodes. First two episodes.
Very true. Very true.
Fireballs. Fireballs.
That was awesome. Yeah.
Melting cage.
And I think that's the King of Gildan trying to stab him.
Probably true. Yeah. Definitely Gildan.
Definitely.
Okay. Oh yeah, here. This I know
There
we
you
want to
go.
talk about this. So let's just watch this little quick that's it really. Just a couple shots. Darth Vader. Yeah, Darth Vader shows up. What the heck? But yeah, so just we get these couple quick shots of Aiel.
Two different Aiel. I'm positive that's two different Aiel.
Yeah, a lot of people seem positive about that. I mean, I'm not positive, but I mean, other people are positive. So
I think the leather strapping is positioned different. I see differences in the way, if you look at the skirting or the cloaking, on this one here, it's a lot more ragged and ripped up and torn. On the other one, it's not so much. The back here, it's crisscrossed at the lower back.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have the same crisscrossing of the leather on the other one. Not the same. It's not the same. Plus, this one's got that weird cutout there.
Well, the cutout thing, I'm not sure you could see on the other one because of the buckler. But you know
Possibly.
what? I will say that the one difference I can see is that let me go back.
Dirt doesn't match up either. But
that was what I was going to say. Like this person's Shufa is pretty clean looking, and this other one looks a lot dingier.
Now, I have no idea who that one is. The
Mhm,
other one with the spears, I do think is Shail Tigraine.
mhm. I mean,
Um,
I definitely think because we're seeing these scenes where they are and the time frame that it apparently is, yeah, we're going to see her. That just makes sense. I don't
Mhm.
know that for sure that either one of these is her, but I think we'll see her definitely.
but yeah, I do think that the other one has a bit more of a feminine shape to her,
Yeah,
to
I can see
them.
that.
If anything, I'm wondering if we'll see whichever one of these in the future or not.
And I'm not saying that that's Tam, but just because they've got long dark hair, doesn't mean that's not Tam, because that's 20 years before.
Oh yeah, totally. They could give him long hair.
Tam,
Absolutely.
Tam could have worn long hair 20 years ago.
Totally.
20 years
Yeah.
ago, I had short hair. Does that mean I have to have short hair now? No.
Yeah, no, totally. I think this certainly could be Tam. Kind of like the Shail thing. It's like we're here for a reason. We're not here to just see a random battle, right? The things that
Right.
we're interested in here are what was happening with those two characters. So I think we will definitely see those two characters.
This is
Whether
an
that's
important scene.
yeah. I mean, it's reasonable that they would put them in these shots, right? So, I mean, I think it is reasonable to think that, in these shots, that could be Tam, and we could see Shail as well. Because why show us a random Aiel when they could show us, a glimpse of her? But I definitely
I think
we'll
that
see.
might be Janduin too, though.
Could be, yeah. Could be Janduin. Yeah.
What we got next?
I think that
I
was
love the
pretty much
little
it.
Rand in a box.
So I think that was everything that we had wanted to talk about specifically, unless I'm forgetting something.
I think that was too. It was.
Yeah.
We had a little bit of a list. We got through it. That was our review, breakdown, analysis about the Wheel of Time full trailer. Anybody else have any more thoughts?
I don't think so.
No, my only thought is the longbow scene where Rand is looking very angry.
Oh,
Do you
yeah,
think
for
that's
sure.
Narg, or do you think that's something else?
No, I think that's in Faldara. Let me
That's
see
in
if I can
Faldara.
bring that up. I don't know why
Where-
he looks so angry when he was doing like target practice in another
Oh.
shot and he looked perfectly happy, but like
Egwene,
went too
Egwene just told him she was going to Tarvalon to be an Aes Sedai,
maybe that's it. Yeah.
and
go.
Aes Sedai don't marry.
Yeah, they're clearly having a very emotional scene there, which I'm looking forward to. But
Because he says, I can't lose you, and she says, you're not. Well, he is, but he's not.
right.
And he's like crybaby about it.
It's like,
So,
I
like,
can't
he's-
see where he's at all, and I don't think that's in his house with Narg.
No, that I lightened that shot up. That's definitely in Faldara.
It is Faldara. You can't see it well here, but there's like a banner in the background. That is a Faldara banner. So I think we get another shot of him in Faldara with the bow and arrow, and I think we know from some leaks that he's like doing like target practice. So
Yeah.
and then we know Egwene shows up and they have a scene. So my guess would be he's just doing a target practice. He's more calm and everything. Egwene shows up. They have a big scene, and then this is post Egwene scene. So doesn't seem like it ends all that well.
Anybody
Yeah.
I
else?
can't wait to find out.
Right?
Yes,
Just
but I
a
think that's
couple
going to be an
weeks.
awesome scene. But that's like that scene has got to be in like episode like 7. Like we're talking some,
A
way out there.
ways.
Yeah.
Couple months. Oh
Right.
boy, that's a long time.
Yep.
Is that it for us tonight, you guys?
That's it for us
Yep.
tonight.
Well, everybody have a great week. Thanks for joining us, and don't forget to be awesome.
Yeah, what he said.